One particular evening, her sister was gravely ill at her residence. The sole companions were her children, as her husband was confined to the lunatic asylum in Cardiff. After putting her children to bed, she placed the candle on the floor, intending to retire for the night. Suddenly, a sweeping sound traversed the floor, extinguishing the candle's flame. Remarkably, the room retained a faint glow. Upon turning around, she was met with the apparition of old John Richards, who had passed away a decade earlier. In his hand, he held a corpse candle, and his chilling, unwavering gaze sent shivers down her spine. Disturbed by the eerie presence, she awakened her eldest son and questioned, "Can you see old John Richards?" The boy, still rubbing his eyes, exclaimed upon seeing the spectral figure, "Oh, why? Oh, do. I wish I may die." At that moment, the ghost vanished, along with the corpse candle. The candle on the floor resumed its bright illumination, and the following day, the ailing sister passed away. This account, told by a Welsh woman, was documented in British Goblins, 1880, by Wirt Sykes. Corpse candles, known as Canwyllaw Cyrff in Welsh, are a significant aspect of Welsh folklore, depicted as small lights gliding close to the ground. These luminous apparitions pause near houses where impending death is believed to occur. Throughout history, the symbolism of light and fire representing life persisted. Upon death, the departing soul was believed to transform into a flame, serving as an omen of imminent death. Corpse candles are intricately linked to corpse roads, as detailed later in this video. These spectral lights manifest in various locations, near the earth, in the air, above lakes, and even over the sea. Frequently, they are observed hovering along these roads, often at twilight, appearing midway between the deceased's residence and their final resting place. The behavior of corpse candles can be erratic, seeming to vanish and reappear from the observer's view. They often traverse a direct path, following the shortest route from the deceased's home to the church or graveyard. These lights traverse diverse terrains, including mountains, valleys, rivers, and marshlands, often deviating from traditional routes and appearing capable of navigating freely. On occasion, they exhibit peculiar detours and may linger over specific spots. These foreshadow the path of future funeral processions. For example, Maurice Griffiths, a former schoolmaster of Pontfeen in Pembrokeshire and a Baptist preacher, recounted a tale of witnessing a crimson light in the valley below while walking at night. He watched as the red light journeyed, momentarily halting for a quarter of an hour before resuming its course toward Llanfyrch Lawdog Church and its adjacent churchyard. Subsequently, a few days later, a tragic event unfolded. The young son of Peter Higgin from Pontfeen passed away. During the child's funeral procession, they followed the same path as the previously witnessed corpse light. Mirroring the flame's behavior, the funeral cortege encountered a 15-minute delay near a body of water, necessitating assistance to transfer the coffin across. Ultimately, the child found his resting place in the exact location where the corpse candle had paused before vanishing. In the realm of corpse candles, size carries significant meaning. The dimensions of the candle indicate the individual's age. A small candle signifies youth, while a lengthy one signifies advanced age. A red flame indicates the passing of a male, while a white flame heralds the departure of a female. In the event of dual candles materializing in unison, one shorter than the other, the impending demises will involve both a mother and her unborn child. The presence of a corpse candle crossing a cultivable or hay field was believed to foretell a disastrous crop yield. It was imperative not to obstruct a corpse candle's path or hinder its progress, as such interference could result in the guilty party themselves dying. Corpse candles frequently played a role in phantom funerals, mysterious processions along corpse roads that foreshadowed impending village funerals. These eerie processions were often accompanied by muffled sobbing or the sound of many footsteps along the path. Corpse roads served as a practical solution for conveying deceased individuals in Britain, especially in Wales, often from distant communities, to designated burial grounds with established rites, such as parish churches and chapels of ease. During that era, churches exhibited a strong sense of guardianship over their congregations, encompassing both the living and the deceased. When a member of the parish passed away, the desire was twofold: to ensure their proper burial aligned with the parish's rituals and to access the financial benefits associated with burial rites. However, the rise in population and the expansion of church construction in Great Britain led to encroachments on the territories of existing mother churches or minsters. Since these mother churches held exclusive burial rites, corpse roads were established to connect distant areas to their central mother churches. Consequently, individuals had to transport corpses over long distances, often through challenging terrain, unless the deceased was affluent enough to afford special transport. Eventually, many of the newly established churches were granted burial rights, rendering corpse roads obsolete. At the core of corpse roads lies the concept that various types of spirits, whether they are spirits of the departed, apparitions of the living, wraiths, or natural entities like fairies, traverse the physical landscape along designated pathways. These pathways, in their ideal and unspoiled form, are envisioned as being straight, sharing a resemblance with ley lines. Spirits or ghosts were believed to glide closely to the ground in a linear trajectory, prompting the preservation of clear paths connecting two locations, free from fences, walls, and structures that might obstruct the fleeting specters. These paths would cut straight through mountains, valleys, and even traverse marshlands. Within urban settings, they might pass closely by houses or even pass directly through them. These paths either culminate at or originate from a cemetery. The corpse roads or pathways were intentionally kept unplowed, and deviating from the established route for any reason was considered highly unlucky. Conversely, intricate or nonlinear features impede the movement of spirits, such as in the case of labyrinths and mazes. Ancient stone and turf labyrinths, found across Europe and Scandinavia, were believed to serve the purpose of trapping evil spirits. In addition to their role in transporting corpses, preventing the spirits of the departed from returning to haunt the living was of utmost importance. To achieve this, various minor rituals were employed as deterrents. For instance, during the journey to the cemetery, the feet of the deceased were positioned away from the family home, serving as a protective measure against lingering spirits. As the corpse was transported, it would be guided over bridges, stepping stones placed across flowing water, which spirits were believed to be incapable of traversing, stiles, and other liminal locations known for impeding the spirit's return. Crossroads have long been regarded as perilous locations, believed to be inhabited by unique spirit guardians due to their role as junctures between the mortal world and the underworld. In such transitional places, the Celtic deity Lugh was believed to guide travelers on the correct path. Over time, these intersections became associated with the realm of the dead, leading to the erection of Christian crosses at crossroads. Divination at crossroads was a practice observed in Britain and across Europe, often linked to the notion that the devil could manifest at these points. Crossroads lore extended to the idea that spirits, including those of suicides, hanged criminals, witches, outlaws, and gypsies, could be bound or immobilized at these locations. Certain coffin stones, crosses, or lich gates present along churchways suggest that these elements might have been strategically positioned and consecrated to temporarily hold the coffin, preventing any contamination of the ground or the potential escape of the spirit to haunt its place of demise. A notable account from the 13th century by Gerald of Wales recounts a peculiar marble footbridge called Leclafar in St. David's. The bridge was said to have spoken every time a corpse passed over it, eventually breaking due to the effort. This bridge became so associated with superstitions that it ceased being used for carrying corpses. Beyond Europe, various cultures had their own versions of corpse paths. In Imperial China, the Shendao, or Spirit Way, featured statues of real and mythical creatures, as well as officials, lining the path to the burial mound of an emperor or high dignitary. In the Netherlands, the Doodwagen, or Spokenwagen, death roads or ghost roads, converged on medieval cemeteries, with some fragments surviving as straight sections to this day. In Costa Rica's Arenal area, NASA surveys identified straight paths through the rainforest dating from CE 500 to 1200, serving as corpse paths for carrying bodies to burial sites. In Uppland, Sweden, archaeologists unearthed a Viking cult or corpse road at Rosaring, used ceremonially to transport deceased Viking chieftains to their graves. If you find the concept of corpse roads and corpse candles intriguing, you might consider exploring one. One such example in Britain is the Swaledale Corpse Way in North Yorkshire. The former ancient corpse road that used to link Keld and Muker has been repurposed into a bridleway, following the contours of Kisdon Hill. As you head eastward, venture towards Ivelet Bridge, where a level stone once served as a resting spot for pallbearers and the coffins they carried. According to local legend, there are occasional sightings of a headless black dog in this very area.